I'm here with my 2016 Bookish Resolutions. For me, 2016 is going to be all about finishing completed series. So if it's a series that I have, especially if I have all of the books of it, and it's a completed series, so they're not making any more books for it, I want to try to read that this year. That's my goal. So I'm just going to show you a few of the series that I have planned or some additional possibilities. I will say on my Goodreads account I had originally put the Game of Thrones series or the Song of Ice and Fire series, but in researching it there's supposed to be more books coming out, so it's not a completed series, so it's not very high on my series that I want to actually read this year. Even though I have 4 out of the 5 books that are released, it's still an ongoing series, so it's not very high on my priority list. The first book that I want to talk about, or books, as again it's a series, is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. And I'm already on book 2. I'm only on chapter 5 of it, but I've already read City of Bones. I am currently on City of Ashes, and I am on chapter 5, so I'm doing pretty good with this one. There are 6 books in the series, so I'm planning on reading 6 with this series. And of course, if I'm reading the Mortal Instruments, then I am probably obviously reading The Infernal Devices, which starts with Clockwork Angel, also by Cassandra Clare. This only has 3 books in the series, and from what I've heard, in order to not get spoiled, you're supposed to read these in chronological order of when they were published. So I'm going to be reading the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices kind of side by side, because is it after the 3rd book in the Mortal Instruments, then this one, or it's the 4th book of the Mortal Instruments and then this one? I don't remember which. I need to look that up because I'm on book 2 already. Mortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, both on my list, so that's 9 books altogether there. The next series that is on my list for 2016 is Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, and there are 5 books in the series. I have all of them and I have yet to read them. So that makes it 14 books so far. Then after I read that, the Heroes of Olympus series, also by Rick Riordan. And this also has 5 books in the series, so that makes my total up to 19 books that I'm planning on reading this year. The next series that's on my list is actually one that my mom and my sister started reading when I was in high school. And I couldn't read it because every time one of them would finish reading a book, they would loan it out to somebody else and I would never get a chance to read it. So now I have my mom's copies and she's actually borrowing me to reread the series because she never got to finish it. That's partly because the original author passed away during the middle of the series and another author picked it up with his notes to finish it off. And that series is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. And the author that finished it up is Brandon Sanderson, which a lot of people know about. A lot of people, I don't think, know about Robert Jordan, at least in the booktube community. I haven't heard him mentioned. Brandon Sanderson is really popular. But my mom and my sister love this series. There are 15 books total. There's 14 in the series and then a prequel, so it's 15 books total, which makes my total, I need to count, which makes my total 34 books that I'm planning on reading this year. The next series is just a possibility. I don't have all the books yet. I have the first 4 and there are 6 in the series altogether. And that is the Bloodline series by Rochelle Mead. I have read The Vampire Academy and I bought Bloodlines just after finishing Vampire Academy, but I marathoned Vampire Academy and I knew that if I loved Bloodlines as much as I love Vampire Academy that I'd want to marathon it also. And I just recently got the 2nd book in the series. I had book 1, 3, and 4, and I just recently got book 2. I'm possibly planning on reading this as well. So that puts my total up to 40 books possible for the year. And they're all series, so I could get burnout on it, which is a very good possibility. I'm hoping I don't. I have a lot of anthologies. Most of these, actually I think all of these are pretty well fantasy, kind of paranormal-ish. And I have a ton of fantasy anthologies, which is just little short stories. So I'm probably going to read like a little short story in between. If I feel like I'm getting burnt out, I'll probably try to read a short story or two out of one of my anthologies. But I also have a couple other series that are possibilities for being on my 2016 TBR. The first one is the House of Night series by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. And this is book 4, I think, or 5. I don't remember. But I started reading this in 2015, and I have the whole series excluding a novella and a little companion thingy. In this series they worship a goddess Nyx, and that book is about the goddess, I think, or about the like kind of religion they have with following Nyx. And those are the only two that I don't have, is just a novella and that. So I have the rest of the series, and I haven't really gotten into it. So this is a possibility to be added if I finish the rest of the series that's on my TBR. And to go along with that, kind of, is the Morganville Vampire series by Rachel Kane. And I have all of the books in the series except for one, and there's quite a few books in this series, which is something that I'm trying to get out of for 2016. I'm going to try very hard to not buy multiple books in a series before starting to read the series. And I've been doing pretty well with that. At the end of 2015, I bought Throne of Glass, but I did not buy any of the others yet because I haven't read it. I bought Fallen Kingdoms, but I haven't bought the others because I haven't read it. And these are ongoing series, so they're probably not going to be something that's a priority for 2016. This is a finished series, so it's on my possibility list. I also have several other like trilogies or duologies that are not really a series. It's just trilogy or duology. If I can't read like a whole series, or if I'm getting a little tired at the anthologies, I want a little something more, I might go for one of those, but I'm trying to finish series that I have all of the books for, but I haven't read yet. So that is my goals for 2016. Added on to that, reading series and trying not to buy additional books in a series if I haven't at least started the series, and trying not to buy more books than I read. Something that I might not do with that last one is I'm trying to repurchase the Pern series and the Xanth series in hardcover. So if the books are a repurchase, I don't think I'm going to count that towards my books that I've read, because most of those I have actually read. Anyway, I should probably cut this short. I have 40 books that I'm definitely wanting to get through before the end of the year. My Goodreads goal is 54 books, so I'm planning to try to read a book a week, which is about my average. Sometimes if I get a really slow book, it takes longer than a week to read it. But I think that's all I have for this video. There are books that I'm wanting to read this year. Top few are just possibilities. It's got that mass market paperback in the middle there, which makes it really difficult to hold on to. And that's all I have for this video, so I will see you next time. Bye! I'm losing my voice.